Skyzone.Society.
Yo, what's going on, my people out there in the sports world? You know what you tapped into, but you don't. You tapped into the Zone Sports Podcast. I'm one half of your host, your boy Big V.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You see
yeah.
my guy over there. If you watching on YouTube, he in all his Carolina gear. I think he ready for the weekend, but you know what? I'm gonna let my guy introduce himself, man. What's going
Yeah,
on, my G?
yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Corey, never telling the same old story. AKA Cool C, AKA C what the hell, AKA we got the sound for you in the back, AKA I'm here, AKA let's get this. This is
Oh,
crazy, man. It's beautiful,
oh yeah, oh
beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful day, beautiful week. You
Man,
know?
it's a hell of a week, definitely a beautiful week. You know what I mean? We're gonna jump into everything. Can't wait to kick this sports podcast
Uh,
off. You know what I mean? Before we do all that, let me let the people know who we sponsored by, my guy. You don't know? Yo, we sponsored by my brand, Skyzone.Society. Make sure you shopping at skyzone.society.bigcartel.com. You know what I mean? For all your hats, jackets, you know what I mean? Your hoodies, your tees, all that, man. We got you covered, man. Yo,
yeah.
what's good with you, my G? My fellow Tar Heel Nation guy.
Hey,
What's popping,
you
boy,
know,
boy?
we are out here, and I'm telling you, Big V, the optimism for this is crazy. You know, the thing is that a lot of people have been saying it, and I agree. I think this could be one of the biggest games in the Carolina and Duke rivalry.
Yes,
And that's a good thing and a bad thing to me
yes.
because I love, it's kind of like how Eddie Murphy left comedy in regards of stand up. And this is his quote. He was like, man, it's something like when last time he did a stand up was Raw back in like 89, from not 87 or 89, one of them. And he was like, yo, it's just something about where I left it at, where it's like, I don't even want to come back and tarnish that. And that's how I feel about this Carolina and Duke game. It couldn't have gotten any better than beating Duke in Durham, in Cameron Indoor by like
Yes,
13, 14 points
yes,
by with it being Coach K last game in
absolutely.
Cameron Indoor. And I was like, basically, I was like, yo, well, whatever happens, can't nothing top that moment. And the stakes can't get any higher than what it
Ah,
was on that
yeah,
night. And
yeah.
then they don't mess around and put us on the same side of the bracket, not the same region, but the same side. And we end up meeting in the Final Four. And I wish I don't wish this too often. I wish we had a Duke fan within an earshot, and maybe we would or wouldn't get an honest answer. But I would definitely ask you because I want to get your thoughts on this before we let you rock. It's like if we somehow lose this upcoming Saturday, would that be redemption for what happened on Cameron Indoor? And that's a valid question. Like it's a valid because to me, I'm like, Dad, Coach K got us back one last time. Like, you could argue the aesthetics of where it happened at. Coach K, Cameron Indoor, like, that was the ultimate egg on your face. Like, so on one part, it's like, oh, no, just know that your last loss on your home court that's named after you came by this. But then I could definitely see a Duke cat being like, yeah, y'all got us, but we kept y'all out of the championship game. And we talked about this before, Big V. What's more important, the championship or the rivalry? And now this combines both. Because
Yes.
don't get me wrong, me as a Tar Heel fan, you as a Tar Heel fan, I'll speak for myself. I felt like we was playing with house money this year. I did not expect for Hubert Davis to get us as far as we did, right?
No.
But it's kind of like I could accept not getting to the championship game if it was because of any other of the 300 and whatever teams that is in Division One. How are you? What do you got to say? How you been, brother? I know I threw
Yo,
some
yo.
craziness out there, like yo,
Nah. First of all, I'm good. My week was great. You know, I text you on Saturday. You know what I
yeah,
mean? What I tell you, I said,
we got this.
we got this, dog.
You
Don't
said it.
even trip. I told you that.
I
Yo,
was a little nervous with UCLA. Ain't gonna front.
ah,
That's a good team.
it's a great team.
Well,
Great
we
team.
are too, but
Yeah. And I ain't even gonna front. I knew St. Peter's couldn't fuck with us. I ain't even gonna lie.
I won't worry about Peters. Much respect to them. I love them. I won't worry about them. UCLA was who I was worried about.
And look, I can give a Duke fan a call if you like. I got one on standby if you want me to give a real one a call. I got one right here on speed dial, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Let me call the homie A-Wax the God King.
Oh yeah, all that Wax. I know what he gonna say. I know what he gonna say. But I want to hear from a Duke guy. Yeah, I do want to hear from a Duke guy.
Okay. He ain't picking up. He probably ducking the smoke. You know what I mean? I ain't no telling. You know what I mean? It's all good. I would duck it too. You know what I mean? Nah. He probably just getting off work or somewhere eating or in the studio.
Respect to the guy king over there.
He may call back. You know what I mean? But yo, man, I want to keep it right here. You know what I mean? On this right here on the Duke versus Carolina game going down this weekend, this Saturday. You know what I mean? Don't really know the exact time. I think it's a late joint, like
8:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
8:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what I mean? This pod will definitely be out before then. Make sure y'all checking out the game. If you love college basketball, we do. So we're going to keep it right here. And if you don't know, man, today, of course, man, we on our freelance pod today. I ain't even hit my man with no topics. You know what I mean? I ain't got no topics. We just flying off the dome.
We just rolling. Yeah.
You know, if people don't know, if you're new to this podcast or if you were, you've been a listener throughout these 41 episodes, I'm saying it with my chest out, Corey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me get a little flexy flex real quick. You know what I mean? Little flexy. 41, you know what I mean? It might be something like everybody else, but it's making us, you know what I mean? So, yo, I've been telling y'all this is how the podcast got started, man. We and my guy just chopping sports, how we chopping sports. You know what I mean? That's how we doing. So we're gonna keep it like that, man. So I feel like, man, this weekend is gonna be crazy, Corey. Yeah. We went in there on Coach K's final night, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
Stole that thing, man. You know what I mean? I'm still grinning from that. Still grinning. I didn't even expect us to be in the Final Four with the team that we had. And I hate to even say that as a Carolina fan, the team that we had, but it was one of those teams, man. I mean, we lost, we was losing some games. We wasn't winning, we wasn't winning in typical Carolina fashion this year.
The Wake Forest game we lost to earlier this year, man.
Stop it.
I want to say Pitt. We got smoked by Pitt earlier in the season.
When that start happening? But you get my. Thank you for making my point to our fans and listeners who wonder why I'm saying that. You know what I mean? In air quotes, the typical Carolina team. It just wasn't, Corey. It's not what we was traditionally used to. Coming now that we are we've retired Will Williams, had a brand new coach in there, who was still probably trying to get the feel of things as far as his system, how he wanted to run, and everything else behind the scene as far as recruiting, things that we can't even imagine that have been going on. I definitely didn't even see us making it this far. I just want to be one of the first fans to say that. So I am definitely grateful that we made it this far. I am even more grateful that we upset Coach K, and he is forever. You know what I mean? He has that memory embedded in his head forever.
Yeah,
can't get it out. You know what I mean? And I feel like the only thing that can really replace that memory, Corey, as well as the hearts of Duke fans who are still trying to find it out somewhere. But don't worry about your heart. It's sitting over there in Carolina town somewhere. We got it. Don't even trip. They're still trying to find it. You know what I mean? The only thing that can soothe that, Corey, is them beating us. I feel like them beating us is going to feel better than them getting a national championship. I'm going to just be honest with you. And Corey, I'm going to be honest with you again, too, on this podcast, man. Man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a dogfight. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you, Corey. I'm going to take my feelings out of it. I'm going to take my heart out of it. And I'm going to take my vandalism out of it, right? I think Duke might get it.
Think so?
It's kind of like Corey.
And why do you say that? I'm curious.
All right, I'm gonna go down the list. Starting with that first night they played, and I text you, and I was hyped. I said, Corey, it's going down. You said, V, no, it's not going down. They're gonna hand us our ass. It's over.
Yeah.
I was like, nah. Looked up, got blew out by 20 points. And I know some may say that happens all the time. I had this conversation with my daughter earlier yesterday, how it seemed like we always trade. They get one at our house, we get one at their house. We get one at their house, we get one. You know what I mean? It's been like that for a few years, but it's been some times too where Duke is one of them and got both of them.
It's been a couple of years like that.
Man, and I'm going to be honest with you, Corey, as a Carolina fan, I can't remember the last season that we went there and got both of them. I just can't. Not saying it never happened in history. I just can't remember.
We swept them. I want to say 2 years ago.
Was that Kobe White season? Kobe White season?
Yeah. I want to say it was because we prior to that we haven't swept them since maybe 08 or 09. Like it's been a minute. We split a couple of times. We lost to both a couple of times.
Yeah.
But the thing was, if I'm not mistaken, that year, Big V, and I might be getting my years confused. We swept them, but then we met up in the ACC tournament and they got us back.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might have been Kobe White's year. That might have been.
Yeah. So I hear you on that. You know, it don't happen often.
It don't happen often, Corey. And it's that, and then like I said, it's the first game that we had, the conversation me and you had, the feeling I had that night, and we got killed. It's the history of us hardly ever winning, of us hardly ever sweeping them or whatever. It's also, I feel we just don't have enough. I'm gonna be honest with you, Corey.
Yeah.
When we got blew out by 20-something points that first game, you told me, like, dog, we don't have enough.
If it weren't for Manic, we wouldn't have even had that first go round.
Bro, I feel like this, man. I feel like that our guard play is too inconsistent to win this time around. I'm sorry. I feel like what's their player with the funny name?
You got a few. You got Panchero.
Right there. That's it. I don't feel like we have a definite answer for him. I'm sorry. The dude is nice. I'm not even gonna hold you. As a Carolina fan, I watch his games. Yo, the boys, I like him, dog.
He's nice, but I think we got an answer for him. I think we do got an answer for him.
Who that? And what's that?
I'm gonna call him. Well, I nickname a lot of the Tar Heel players, but I call him Mountain Climber. You may know him as Brady Manic. When he's not elbowing people in the face and getting thrown out of games and getting in foul trouble, this guy is amazing, and he's pretty damn consistent.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think I think so. Man. I think it's too. I think he may be the only answer we have. I just don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough, Corey. I honestly think that dude is too slow to guard him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's too slow to guard. What's his name again? Panchero.
Panchero. That's what I want to say. A Duke fan can correct me on that real quick.
He can guard him lengthwise. I just don't think he's quick enough. Oh, Panchero, he's pretty quick for his size, and he can shoot a little mid-range J too. And he's strong, and also I don't think that Manic is strong enough for him. I don't think if he goes to post him, I don't know. And I think, man, if we double team him, you know what I mean, with our other center, I can't remember his freaking name to save my life.
Talking about on Duke or Carolina?
For Carolina. Our center, I love him.
Baykai, Armando
Baykai. If we bring him over, it's
gonna be interesting what Hubert Davis do on that matchup.
Right, I prefer Baykai on him. I'm not even gonna lie. I know Baykai ain't this quick. I don't think Baykai can stay with Panchero off the dribble. I
don't know about off the dribble. And
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if we have a definite answer because he makes a lot of moves off the bounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just not a post player. He can do his thing. And just coming back to the first game, he exposed us, Corey. He exposed his strength on us. He imposed his strength on us. Like it was just bad. And I just think that coming off that loss as well, and that bad taste that we left in their mouths down there at Cameron, I think they're go. I think they're gonna want it a little bit more than us, man. And I'm not saying that we don't want it. I think
Yeah,
I'm saying Duke has more to play for, and I know Coach K has a way of
I
coaching
agree
them.
with you on that.
You know what I mean? He has a way of
I agree with you
coaching
on
them.
that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
you think,
think
man?
we could go into these predictions of the Carolina and Duke games, but really at the end of the day, these are one of the most unpredictable matchups. Period.
Yeah.
Historically, it's been that way. It's been
Yeah.
years, and we spoke about this before, so I ain't gonna linger too much longer on it. But it's been times where we've had no business beating them,
Mm.
and they beat us.
Okay.
Plenty of times where we are not even ranked, and they're like either number one or number two in the country, and we beat them. It's been times where I felt like we had the better team. You even take it back like the Tyler Hansborough years back in like '08 and '09, where they'll still manage to sneak one, i.e., off a lucky Austin Rivers last second three or whatever. The few concerns that I do have and still have is the amount that we lost by the first go round. And I get it, the
Yeah.
game's over with, it's done
Yeah.
by that. And then you have us getting them back by a smaller but yet similar margin. Um, I really can't call it, but I do feel like this. I do feel like, as I just said earlier at the top, we're kind of playing with house money. So how much fire are we going to bring? Now, I do think that with this team mostly being like transfer seniors
Yeah.
and juniors, I do think that they know how it was before this year.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to take it for granted. And I do think they're going to give everything they got. But with Duke, I do agree with just the part where I do agree with you that it's like, man, they got so much more to play for. They got the legacy of Coach K, which his legacy is set, but you know
Of
how it's
course.
going to get flipped.
Yeah.
They playing for this guy to get this guy to the championship.
And you don't want to be the team that let Coach K down twice. You already the team
Not
that you
once,
want, and
but twice.
you already the
It's
team that's going down the history that let him down on this last night.
Yeah, and then you add in the fact of the championship, and I spoke about this before. What's more important, beating Duke or the championship? And my answer is still the same. Like, if we beat Duke, I'm going to be happy as hell. Now, you do not. Now, when I made that statement, I still stand by it, but I would like to add a caveat to it. You don't get to a championship game to lose. So, but I will say this: if we beat Duke, but then losing the championship, I'm still going to reference the fact that hey, we beat y'all and embarrassed y'all not once but twice. I don't care if it's a last second three buzzer beater, But I do think that they have a lot to play for. But what I'm seeing with this Carolina team is something that I haven't seen before. And let me explain that.
Okay.
Normally, we still got the core group of our guys together with R.J. Davis,
Yeah.
with Caleb Love, with Baycott. I consider those like the core guys and whatnot. And normally, you see the jump from year to year. Year one, we stuck. We stink. We barely missed the NIT, right? Or we got put out in the first or second round.
Yeah.
The second year, we got a respectable run in the NCAA tournament. Maybe the round of 32 or the Sweet 16. But then that next year, willing that most of that core group is together, we're either talking championship or at least the Elite Eight, if not, to the Final Four. Well, this year is the first year that I recall, and people, please drop your comments in below if I'm missing something. This is the first time that I've seen the tale of two different teams in the same season. In the same season. Let me run down some losses that we have real quick, Big V.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stick to conference play. I'm not worried about out of conference so much because that could be whatever. But you look at us losing 78-73 to Notre Dame. You look at us getting ghetto blasted by Miami, 85-57. You look at us getting drugged with what we just talked about. Wake Forest, 98-76, right? And then getting destroyed by 20 points by Duke, and then getting beat 76-67 by Pittsburgh, right? Even with the loss to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament, 72-59. Those are really not close. Those are real tough losses and bad losses, right? But it seems like, with the exception of that Virginia Tech game in the ACC tournament, it seemed like when we beat Duke, that's when it happened. That's when it was like, this looks like a completely different team. And I'm telling you, it's almost a maturation level from year
Yeah.
1 to year 2 has
Yeah.
happened inside this season. And I'm going to tell you again, Big V, coming into this season, I was hoping we were gonna make the tournament. And then we was like, we're a bubble. I mean, cats had us on the bubble, Big V. Joe Lenardi and all them cats
Me
had us
too.
as a bubble. I won't really disagreeing with them, to really
Yeah.
be honest with you, because we were so inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
But then it felt like when we beat Duke, we felt like we could really beat any team in the country. Now, was that an off night for Duke? I don't know. We're gonna find out Saturday. Here's what I will predict, and we'll move on. It ain't gonna be no blowout either way. It ain't gonna be no blowout. We have not had that signature buzzer beater this tournament yet, and I hope it don't happen here because I can't take the stress of
Yeah.
watching this game, knowing it's gonna come down to a last second shot. I can't deal with that, Big V. My heart can't take it, and I mean physically, Big V. I can't take it. All I ask is this: I hope to know who's going to win in like 3 to 4 minutes ago with the game, so I could be like, oh well, we had a good run. I don't want to deal with me biting my nails and it's like 3 seconds to go on the clock and Duke got the ball and Panchero or whatever the hell his name is and got the daggone ball, and when he launches for a three, you're just sitting here, 3, 2, 1, because it ain't like it hasn't happened to us before with these bastards. Okay, it happens. And it can't happen on the tournament. So I don't know, but it's going to be close. I don't predict a double-digit win by either team.
No, I got Duke by 6.
Okay, you know, Mariah, I can't stand this man. You did the smart thing,
I'm
baby.
just
You
taking my
took your
feelings
heart
out.
out of it.
I
You
took my
took
heart out
right.
of it. You know what I mean?
See, I can't. I can't. Carolina by 3. That's
Woo!
me respecting Duke. Okay, that's me
And,
respecting Duke.
and I hope you're right.
Carolina by 3.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong as fuck. I
And
promise
I
you
know
I
you
am.
do. I know you do, and I get it because we got some wild Tar Heel fans out here too that's gonna sit there and say, "Oh no, dude, this is you taking your heart out of it, and it's
Yes.
kind of like when I play March Madness brackets with my coworkers down here. It's so easy because everybody and their mom either picking Carolina and Duke to get to the Final Four of the championship. All I got to do is have like the Tar Heels getting out by like the Elite Eight, and then I end up winning the bracket. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
get it. The heart and money
Yeah.
and being real is real. But my realism and my vandalism would not allow me to say I think Duke's going to win. But my heart will say that it's going to be a close game. My heart will say it's not going to be a blowout, and it ain't like I'm saying Carolina's going to win by 12. That's the best I got, Duke Nation. Not that I care what y'all think anyway, but respect.
Hey man, you heard it, man. Corey got Carolina by 3. I hope he's right, and I hope I'm wrong. I got Duke by 6. Again, Carolina fans, y'all know me. Y'all know I'm a diehard Carolina fan.
Yeah.
Everybody know that. I'm just taking my heart and my feelings out of it, and I'm just calling a game because I'm doing a sports podcast. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's it. If I didn't take my heart and feelings out of this podcast, I would tell you that the Lakers are going to win the championship this year, and we all fucking know that is not happening. So,
Dude, we ain't gonna even hit no playing game, bro. We stink.
oh no, it's over, man. No, man. No, man. No. Yo, man. Cool. I was sitting back thinking today,
Yeah.
just thinking about the past events that have happened here within the last month, couple of weeks in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I don't, and I could be overthinking this, Corey, and that's why I have to ask you this. Like, I don't feel that this person. Well, let me not. I want to be clear. This person has had this prestigious moment a couple of times, well deserved. They could almost have this prestigious moment every year, Corey.
Okay.
I just don't think that it is warranted this year. But some way, somehow, I think I'm going to be wrong as usual.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To my people out in the zone land, I think I'll be wrong as usual. Listen, I want to ask you, Corey, I'm going to get your thoughts. With Brady coming back this year,
Yeah.
do you think he's going to be on the cover of Madden again?
No, 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 no. The heck, no. He better not be on the cover of Madden. No, no, hell no. Man, I'm sick of this shit. Hey, look, man. Look, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't really tweet a lot. I don't tweet at all. Really, I don't really ever tweet. If Tom Brady hits the cover of Madden in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I don't care if it's a group picture with 12 other quarterbacks. He better not be included in that group. I've had enough of him being on Madden. I'm going to tweet the Madden, and I'm going to do a change.org. Okay, I don't care about what edition it is. I don't care if it's the legendary GOAT edition. I don't care if it's the standard edition. I don't care if it's the daggone PS5 quadruple limited edition. I don't care if it's an Xbox One, Bill Gates Microsoft edition of Madden 2023 or whatever year it's gonna be. I don't care. Listen, he better not be on none of them covers. You hear me? No, hell no. No, why? Do you got any insight that that's going to happen with him coming back?
I'm just
listen. I want to give a shout out real quick. I want to give a shout out to my guy Peyton Manning. I want to give a shout out to Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning said, "You know what? I wrote this guy a letter, sent him champagne, maybe even some flowers, and he said it tongue in cheek. I don't give a damn about that either. I'm taking that as he meant that real." Straight up Eddie Murphy Raw style. My man said, I want my flowers back. That dedication letter I sent to you thanking you of being one of the greatest of all, I need that back too because he sent that as a retirement gift. The Big V, he ain't retired. Madden would be the last straw, bro. Like now, listen, I buy Madden. I don't buy Madden every year. I buy Madden about every 3 or 4 years. Let me tell you something right now. If he ends up hitting the cover in any way, shape, form, or fashion, that's going to stretch out to every 6 years before I get a new Madden game. This better not happen. I still don't think. Well, who was he shared it with? Was it my man Project Pat? Patrick
Project Pat.
Shared the cover with?
Project
Couldn't
Pat.
even let my man live on his own, solo. Couldn't let him live solo. Let me get up in here. And I know what people are thinking. Hey, but Corey, COOL, what the hell? I mean, they approached him and they both agree with it. Tom Brady could have said no. He could have said no. He didn't. He better not hit Madden again, bro. That's all I got to say about that. I don't know why. I don't like him being on Madden. You don't need. Listen. The last Madden game
my God.
I got, it might have been 2018. And that was the one that got Tom Brady on the cover by his damn self in the Patriots uniform.
I remember you was mad about that on this podcast.
I don't even feel like going to my media center and grabbing it because I've showed it before. I don't need to really show it again. I don't want to break the cameras nor this computer. I care about this podcast well too much. But I got it, and that's the last one that I get. So basically what I need to do is buy me another copy of Madden so I can replace that one. But I hold on to all my Maddens, but I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Ain't no damn cover, bro.
Bro, I have no insight on this. You know I'm a gamer. I have no insight.
Yeah.
And I may be sparking conversation in the Madden world right now because I'm gonna definitely, put this clip out there so maybe it can spark some conversation. Because I was just thinking like it's so like him to make the cover of Madden just because he came out of retirement, Corey. They could have had a whole nother person in line. But the moment that he announced that he was coming back, Corey, I don't know why I got this feeling. I don't know why, man. But Corey, I would not be surprised if
I don't like it.
Corey, and here's my thing, right? And I want you to look this up for me. How many receivers have been on the cover of Madden?
That's a good question.
Because if we're playing it by standards, right? Like, I mean, just by like how good somebody was, wouldn't Cooper Kupp be the go-to?
He's a triple crown. He should be up there.
He should be, right? He should at least get an offering. You know what I mean? A consideration. But I just don't know if he sells copies. Like, I don't know if he's that face to be on the cover. You know, I don't know, Corey. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see here. Wide receiver.
I know AB was on one. I know Antonio Brown was on one.
Yeah, let me see here. Okay, here we go. They got a whole wiki page for it. This goes back to 99. So you said wide receivers.
Just
You
receivers.
got Larry Fitzgerald in
Yep.
2010.
Uh-huh.
Calvin Johnson of
Okay.
2013. Odell Beckham Jr. 2016. And that is it from wide receivers. Now, I don't know if this is including like the different editions. They may just be going by standards.
No. Receivers don't make those. That don't make. Trust me, a receiver isn't making the special edition.
Yeah, it's a boatload of running backs though.
Of course,
obviously quarterbacks and running backs.
And that's the thing, right? I'm glad you're making my point. Out of all these Maddens, they haven't even been made. We'll say at the most 4 to 5 total of receivers. Yeah. Out of all the great receivers,
all that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't see him doing it, Corey. I don't see it. I think, and there's no knock on his skill and what he did as a triple crown.
Absolutely not.
No knock from this podcast at all. But playing the corporate EA face of Madden, I just don't know, man. I don't know.
It will be interesting who gets it for this upcoming season. That's a real good point. Like, I wouldn't be mad if Cooper Kupp got it. You know what I'm saying?
I would love that, because I feel like this. You like you said, there mostly been quarterbacks and running backs. There hasn't been a running back this year, in my opinion, who deserves to grace the cover of Madden this year. Just not.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, the closest one would be Jonathan Taylor, but this is like, I don't know about the cover yet. Not the cover yet.
His rookie year, coming out of rookie year, because this will be his second year coming up, right?
This will be second year. This will be his third year coming up.
Third year? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, no.
Yeah, not yet. Now, if he have another season like he had this past season, I could maybe see it.
And on top of that, the Colts as a team don't deserve to have anybody on the cover. Pardon me, my Colts. You know y'all my team, but not this year. No.
Hey, did you ever watch? I did not watch the Hard Knocks, the end season with your coach. Did you ever watch any of that? I have not watched it yet. I might watch it during the summer or something and catch up on it.
You know what? I've never watched it. Maybe we can watch that. I probably won't get into it this week. We'll watch it and discuss it as a podcast.
Yeah,
before the season. Maybe after the draft. I gotta see what my team do with the draft, and I gotta, matter of fact, I wanna put a rumor out here on the sports podcast, Corey. Just a rumor that I heard. Okay. I don't know if you heard this, Corey. Just a rumor I heard on Twitter. It's rumored that we may be making a run at the Honey Badger.
I think that'll be a good pickup.
Me too.
I think that'll be a good pickup. Like, he's a very consistent guy on defense.
Yep.
And he's all about playing football, yo. Like, you don't hear a peep from this guy. Yep. Like, I know he got into a little bit of trouble when he was
early on. He simmered down.
Yeah. He simmered. I mean, he's a guy who saw that he wasn't on the straight and narrow. And since he joined the NFL, and I get it, part of people can argue like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're getting paid all that money. Yeah, I get all that, but taking the money out of it, he seemed to be a guy that we was going to be talking about that's so talented but never lived up to his potential. And that's not the case with Tyrann Mathieu, aka Honey Badger. I got to give props to him, man. He's all about his business, man. And that you should be. But I do always got to give props to someone who was kind of on the left-hand side and kind of just and got on the straight and narrow, man. So salute to Honey Badger. But that'd be a hell of a pickup for y'all, though.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see who makes his cover Madden. I don't think it'll be Cooper Kupp either. I just don't.
It'll be a damn shame if it's not, though.
It will be,
though, Big V.
Come on, man. Come on.
People of your ilk in particular love triple doubles in the NBA. Let's show Cooper Cup some love for the Triple Crown.
Absolutely.
Let's
Yeah.
show some love for that NFL community.
Hey,
You know,
absolute one thousand
show some
percent.
love for Cooper Cup. He's a bad man, dog.
He is.
Yeah,
He is,
yeah,
man.
man.
Let's keep it on the NFL, Corey.
Yeah.
To my people out there in the zone land, I don't know if y'all heard here recently. It's gonna be some changes in the NFL when it comes to overtime these days,
Yeah.
Corey.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL has made some preseason / postseason adjustments when it comes to the overtime rule in NFL.
Yeah.
If you're not too familiar, or if you are familiar with the rules of the overtime in the NFL, it is basically sudden death, right, Corey? First team that scores
Yeah,
a touchdown wins, but a field goal.
That is correct. That is correct. Yep. It's
Field
basically
goal, they
sudden
both.
death if a touchdown is scored.
Right. So the first team to score a touchdown wins the game, but if one team scores the extra point, they both get a crack at it.
That's right.
Then it basically ends in a tie, right?
Yeah, that's right. If you don't, if the score is still tied after 10 minutes in regular season only, it ends in a tie. They give you 10 extra minutes in the regular season. Now, obviously, playoff. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, in preseason they don't even have overtime. If I'm not mistaken, so that's just regular season, and then obviously postseason is you keep going, so there's a winner.
Absolutely. So now they're making the adjustment to where instead of one team, if they score the touchdown and the game being over, both teams are going to get a crack at trying to score a said touchdown.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a walk-off touchdown, sudden death type overtime during the regular season, Corey.
Yeah.
Corey, what are your thoughts on this, man? I share my thoughts after you. Me personally, man, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy in different ways, but I'm gonna let you have the floor, man, and you let me know what you're thinking about this, man.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. I really do like it. And the thing is with overtime, Big V, it really depends on whether it's your team involved and whether your team is the beneficiary of it or not. And I get it. I do get it in the sense of people who don't like it, where it's like, man, but come on, man. We just drove down the field and scored a touchdown. Like, that's game. You right? And you could argue that, hey, man, the defense is part of the game too, right? And I get all of that. But what I get is that this is more the NFL as a whole is more offensively driven. I feel so bad for defensive cats nowadays. I really do. I can't remember, was it this year playoff game or last year's? It might have even been both. But it was one where Patrick Mahomes, it might have been against Buffalo, where the Kansas City won the daggone coin toss in overtime in the playoff game. You already knew what time it was. Because the thing is, and I get it, you could argue, hey, coach, better defense, right? And the thing is, I knew exactly what was going to happen. You give cats like Aaron Rodgers, you give cats like Patrick Mahomes, right? My man down in Buffalo, like you Josh Allen, you give those cats the ball, and here's what happens, in my opinion, from a defensive standpoint. You almost end up playing prevent defense. Mm-hmm. You don't want to give up that big play. So what they're going to do, they're going to dice you all the way up in the middle. They're going to hit you in the middle. They're going to hit you in the side, pause and pause again. They ain't going to really go deep, pause again, or whatever. They know. Because if you mess around and you give up a 40 or 50 yarder and you playing like a cover one or a cover two, maybe if you playing man to man and your guy gets beat, after Project Pat, a.k.a. Patrick Mahomes, done bombed it for about 40 yards, the game's over with. So a lot of these defensive guys end up getting into prevent defense. Whether it's directly prevent or not, it's prevent-ish, right? And so I think now with the way that the games are and with the way that the rules are currently constructed, in the playoffs, not now regular season, I could care less about the regular season in that regard. But in the playoffs, I would have loved to see what happens when daggone Josh Allen got the ball with Stephon Diggs in that game. I would have just loved to have seen it. I would have loved to have seen even in the Super Bowl where Atlanta lost to the Patriots that year, where obviously the Patriots, they drove down and they scored. It was a mixture of pass plays and runs. But I would have loved to see what Atlanta would have done had they gotten the ball back. And look, bottom line is this. Ain't too much really going to change because if you can't score, the game's over with anyway. So I don't mind it for the playoffs, man. If they still respected defenses like they used to in the 90s and in the early 2000s, then I would talk a whole different ballgame. But being that defense is basically is maybe at best optional, I'm here for it then. Let's do it.
I like your take, man. I like your take. When they start overtime, what do they start at, Corey?
Where do they start at?
Yeah.
They typically, obviously, they tip it off midfield, and then you have your kickoffs. So depending on what happens there, it ain't like college, where they, give it to you on the 25-yard line. I mean, it's a typical kickoff and stuff like that.
Kicking off, right.
Yep.
I feel like I don't know, man. I feel both sides, Corey.
Yeah.
Like I feel for the defense, man. Because I mean, you can barely hit now, man. You can barely hit, you know what I mean? It's kind of like what Jay-Z said. You can't even steal on a nigga. Motherfuckers will sue. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, is that in the NFL? You know what I mean? Like, you can't even hit somebody right. You might get thrown out the game.
Yeah.
Or get fined $50K. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man. But as a fan, man, let me just say, I love it. From a fan standpoint, Corey, I love it. I love it. I cannot tell you how much I hate sudden death sometimes, Corey.
Yeah.
I just hate it. It's good for your team when it's good for your team. It's one of them things, like let us get the ball back. You know what I mean? Let me show you what I can do. You know what I mean? It's like somebody scoring on you, then you're not like, okay, man, let's run it back or let me get the ball in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's that. It's like it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It's the what if, it's the unknown.
You won't never know.
You won't never know. But I'm telling you, this right here, for me, I think is more than likely, I feel in my heart, probably 80 to 90% good for the game. Good for the game, man.
I think it'll be fine.
Man, it's gonna allow the what if factor to just get thrown out the window. It's gonna allow all that shit talking. Oh, well, y'all only won, we ain't get the ball back. It eliminates all of that from the fans and the players, man. It just does. Hey, man, what y'all do when y'all got the ball back? Nothing. It's
so
like
shut up.
It separate the men from the boys, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough, man. And I ain't gonna lie to you, Corey. As someone who loves the game, man, and also just from a video game standpoint as well, it's going to be exciting, man, on the new Madden, that rule.
Oh, yes,
that is going to be exciting having to not play sudden death, and you get a chance to actually strike back at an online opponent or a computer, whatever you're doing, man. That is going to be exciting and nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man. I mean, I can only imagine. Corey, can you imagine the playoffs that we would have had this year with that rule implemented?
Dude, it would have been crazy. I just would have loved to see the end of the Kansas City and Buffalo. I would have loved to see how that really would have turned out.
And a lot of the sports analysts and people like that and are saying that that's really why this rule was put in place, because of that said game. It could be, man. Either way, I'm here for it, because I would love to have seen what would have been on the other side of that, even if it would have led to a double overtime. This is what we love when it comes to sports, man. You know what I mean? That's what we love to do. We love to see
because one thing that this will do, people are always talking about, well, only the offense, gets the ball first and this, that, and the third, and the other offense don't get it. Well, this will also ensure that both defenses get on the field to see what they can do. So no one's talking about that because we don't care about defense anymore. Crazy. So you got that aspect of it too.
You're right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, man, I think it's time for our what the
Woo,
hell segment. You know what I mean?
woo.
By my guy. It's brought to you by my guy. Who was brought to? But Corey.
Yo,
Who?
man, it is brought to you by me, solo out the group, the quadruple platinum series known as What the Hell is all up in here in your area, in your area code. It's all here. It's sponsored by that dude's name on this green sign in the back. Yo, it's brought to you by your man Corey. Never telling the same old story. You know what I'm saying? COO, what the hell, man? The what the hell is definitely a what the hell moment, man.
Oh,
And you know, you
man.
know, Big V.
Let's
I
go.
normally,
Let's
I,
go.
I,
Let's
I
go.
normally hit this from a comedic standpoint. I normally do. This one is a little bit serious to me.
Okay.
And when you told me that we was freelance, and I actually thought that we was going to talk about it, um, even though we don't have anything to do with sports. Big V, what I witnessed earlier this week was two of my celebrity best friends getting into it. What I've witnessed, Big V, was two of my best friends getting slapped and looking just as ridiculous as they could possibly look, Big V. And this is a one thing that I didn't notice. I didn't notice how polarizing this conversation is, even with just within the Black community. It is really tough. So I'm gonna come at it from first of all, I'm not giving a what the hell to any singular person, Will Smith or Chris Rock. I'm giving it to the scenario as a whole. I really am. I
Okay.
hate this, man. Let me tell you, man. I've been listening to Chris Rock stand up since like the mid '90s, bro. Um, I've been listening to well back then Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff
Yeah.
since like '86, '87. You know what I'm saying? The respect that I have for both of these individuals is part none. And you know, my wife asked me what's my take. Other people ask me what's my take or whatever, and it's pretty much the same. I am just this is like two of your best friends beefing or fighting. You just want it to end, Big V.
Yeah.
Let me hit you from the Chris Rock standpoint. As
Okay.
I said, I've been watching Chris Rock since the early '90s, and he comes from the same cloth of your Red Fox, your Eddie Murphys, your Richard Pryor,
Yeah.
where it is definitely storytelling and it ties in to the realism and the microcosm of what's going on in the world today with
Yeah.
the comedic twist, right? And so you can't talk about real life things without stepping on some toes, right? And so there's been an debate and or discussion about comedy as a whole. Big V, you and I, we grew up watching Comic View every night on BET back in the day. We grew up watching Def Comedy Jam. You know what I'm saying? We're from that era of where, you know what, man, if a comic wants to roast you, if you happen to be sitting in the first front rows of that set venue, you are fair game. My dad years ago went to a J. Anthony Brown show. J. Anthony Brown, who's on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, excellent comic, old school. Like he's a real cool guy. And I don't know too much about J. Anthony Brown other than when he was with the Tom during the morning show, again, way back in the day, right? And so being I don't know much about him, I kind of he comes across to me as a mild mannered individual, right? And so next thing I know, my dad came back from the concert and he was like, son, whatever you do, never buy front row seats to a comedy show. At least a black one. Don't he said, don't you ever. Evan, I said, well, why? Man, look, J. Anthony Brown got into it with some guy. Now I don't remember, this was years ago. This was like in the middle of the '90s, where my dad, I don't know if he was trying to heckle, because some people, Richard Pryor had to deal with a lot of hecklers. And he
Yeah.
was telling them to shut the hell up and this, that, and the third. And then that would kind of spark it, or whatnot. But all I know is that my dad always told me the guy with the microphone is the loudest guy. He's the one that's going to be hurt,
That's a
right?
fact.
And that's true, right? And so you look at like D.L. Hughley, right? Who is, I wouldn't even say notorious. He's just known for like, he can look into a crowd see somebody hairstyle, man or female, looking crazy, and he's going to murder you, right? He did it. Matter of fact, one of and I'm super paraphrasing. I'm totally butchering this joke, but it was one time. D.L. Hughley was. It might have been on. It might have been on Common View, and the dude had on big ass glasses. And the fact that I'm a kid, a teenager, remember this, lets me know how it can somehow sting, right? He said, your glasses are so big you can see what's going on in West Somalia. And I said, oh my God. And of course he delivered it way better. I totally appreciate that. I mean, that's why I'm not a comedian. That's why, right? You even look at the Kings of Comedy that came out in 2000 or 2001, where Steve Harvey was hounding this guy who called him thug. And he was like, what do you do? Oh, I work in technology. Well, dude, motherfucker, ain't nothing about you technological. Again, I'm paraphrasing. So comics, they do that. One of my favorite comedians is Jamie Foxx, right? And this is going to lead into my next point. One of my favorite Jamie Foxx, and I've seen him live in concert before. One of my favorite stand-ups by him is called I Might Need Security. I might need security, right? And I was like, gosh, why did he name it that? And you watch it, he talks about everybody, all the celebrities, whoever was hot in Hollywood at that time. He had some smoke from you, from P. Diddy to J-Lo to Mike Tyson to how Al Pacino spits when he's saying his words on Any Given Sunday to the infamous LL Cool J incident that he got. Like, he titled it, I Might Need Security. He talked about Mike Tyson, like he talked about everybody. And it was so funny, right? But then I start to think about it. And because, see, people are saying what comics can or can't say. Now, let's fast forward this to Chris Rock, who is probably one of my favorite comics outside of Eddie Murphy as of right now. And, the argument is that, should he have talked about Jada Pinkett Smith? I saw that where they did a clip back to 2016 where it's like, oh, well, you're talking about you're not coming to the Oscars, but that's like me saying that I'm not invited to Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited, right? Like that was back in 2016. And then, the G.I. Jane joke that led up to all of this, that led up to it. And my wife follows Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and her daughter. I don't. I had no idea that Jada Pinkett Smith had alopecia. Like I didn't. Real quick, I know how it was when I started losing hair. And it's very common for guys to lose hair, the whole male pattern baldness. But it's like I started losing when I was like 25. You know what I'm saying? My hook back in my day was my hair. I don't have any, right? And so I know it was a guy when it first started happening. Who was the first one to call it out? Family members. Oh, hey, we ain't seen a while, nephew or cousin. That man, you lost a little bit of hair. You lost weight and you lost hair. You all right? And it'd be tongue in cheek, but it's kind of like when it first hits, when you're trying to still be in that denial stage, right? It's kind of like, man, you just shut up. Like there's thousands of other topics to talk about than my lack of hair on the top of my head, right? And that's just with male pattern baldness, right? And so you look at Jada Pinkett having alopecia, for those who don't know, that causes like unevening of your hair falling out, and it falls out in patches. And it could grow back, it could not grow back, it could be inconsistent, it can happen at a drop of a dime. So she took it upon herself, like a lot of cancer patients do, and just go ahead and say, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and shave, right? And so this is where I'm about to segue into the Will Smith aspect of this here. And again, do comics have the right to talk about it? The word right, that's a tough one, right? Because if you start telling Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox what they can and can't say, then what are they at this point? You're so, like Tupac talked about it, and you being an artist, you know more about it than anything. When you're writing, you need that freedom to be able to paint your canvas. You paint yours by bars. They paint theirs by comedy. People paint theirs by jokes and by telling the story. So for me to say, does he have the right to do it? I don't know about that, right? But here's what I will say. If I'm a comic of any sort in any venue, and I'm talking about you or your wife or your kids, and here's the thing, Will, Jada, Willow, Jaden, they're all in the spotlight. So are they fair game? Well, again, I don't have the answer to that, right? Again, you start saying you can't talk about nobody, then what are you doing? See, that's why real quick Kevin Hart was so successful, because Kevin Hart is more self-deprecating, right? He turns it in on himself and makes fun of himself, where he's not really making fun of other people. That's why everyone likes him. And when you go, and I've been to a Kevin Hart show before, Kevin Hart don't rank on people. Like, he just don't. That's not part of his deal, right? He just don't do it. A lot of other comics, they don't do it. But most of the comedians that we've seen during our era, during the 90s, that's part of the game, right? And so now, people are saying, well, Will Smith shouldn't have did it. Will Smith shouldn't have handled it that way. Shouldn't have. And while I'm in agreeing at the end point of like, well, no, it's unfortunate that it happened and it shouldn't have happened. Big V, you and I know we're from the same hometown known as Kinston, aka 252. And let me tell you something, man. And I'm not saying Kinston is the only place. You got Compton, you got places all over. Like, it's just like certain. It's more of a community thing than an area thing. I don't want to make it sound like it's just a 252 thing. But when you're dealing with a situation at a certain time, depending on what that is, it is borderline, on site. Well, guess what Chris Rock was? In front of Will Smith. What was in between Will Smith and Chris Rock?
Air and opportunity.
Air and opportunity. So now, I talked about Chris Rock and I talked about the comedic aspect of this. Now, let's talk about Will Smith. Was it bigger than the joke? Was it a lot of built up things that accumulated to this point? Yeah, I do agree with that. I agree with that. But here's my thing. And I hate how this thing done got so hijacked as to where, well, Black women, we can protect themselves. Like, they can protect themselves. Yeah, but if you, and that's true. Let me be crystal clear to anyone who has the pleasure or not the pleasure of listening to this, or either agreeing or disagreeing with what I got to say. I'm married to my beautiful wife, beautiful woman. My wife had her crib before I came in the picture. My wife had her car before I came in the picture. My wife was in her career before I came into the picture. My wife don't need me for jack. She don't need me. She don't need me financially. She don't need me to put her in the car. She don't need me to put her in the house, because those are things that she had always on her own before I even came into the picture, right? So see, we know that. We know that Black women, and women in particular, they're big girls. They do know how to fight for themselves. But I would ask you and ask anyone this rhetorically. Well, if she don't need you to stand up for her, then what are you doing married to her? Right? So see, I know that we're talking about the laugh that Will Smith had before he went up and slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. A lot of people think that it was just funny, like he actually thought it was funny. I tend to kind of think of two things. I don't really think he thought it was funny. I think he was either trying to save face because he knew the cameras was on him, because that's normally what happens when you're at these award shows. When someone talk about you, they pan over it. And you don't like, part of you don't want to look like you're being bothered by it, because if you show any sign of weakness of it bothering you, the comic got you and it is on and it's going to be popping like Orville Redenbacher's, okay? Or, you know what, Big V? I ain't been in a fight in years since I was a little kid, right? I've been in scuffles during my day. And one of the first things that happens right before you get ready to get stole on, man, bam, right? Like, it could have been that laughter. Now, I don't know. I'm not in the man's head. But at any rate, he saw my guy, Chris Rock, saying something about his wife, who is in the industry. We just talked about whether it's fair game or not. We just talked about that. But who is in the industry and did not like her reaction that this other man is causing her at that specific moment. And you know what, Big V? And I'm actually take a bit from Chris Rock here. He had a joke in one of his stand-ups where it's like, hey, man, look, I ain't saying OJ killed her, but I understand. You paying child support, you got people riding around in your cars, living in your house, fucking your wife. Hey, I ain't saying OJ did it, but I understand. So this is where getting to Will Smith. Let me say this for the record. I'm not a dad, but I don't know what I would say to my son or daughter if I'm trying to do this whole life lesson thing that we're supposed to be teaching our kids. But here's my motto. Here's my deal. No, he shouldn't have did it. But I understand. You know, Big V, my wife, she told me about a guy that was flirting with her, an older guy, like gosh, probably like we in our 40s, well, she's in her 30s, but you know, he's about like in 60s, 70s, like he's old sugar daddy type of guy, right? And so she was like, yeah, he keep flirting with me or whatever. And it's like, you know, the first time, you know, I brushed it off. Like, you know, like, okay, yeah, well, like you're a good looking woman. I don't like, I don't expect for her not to get hollered at from time to time.
Of
Right.
course.
And she told me about it again. I was like, oh, ha 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 ha. She told me about it that third time, Big V. And I was already in a mood that day and I just won't trying to hear it, right? And so I told her, I said, look, you don't need to tell me about this anymore because I have a lot of anger and I can't redirect it the way it deserves to be redirected, right? And I said, also do me a favor. If we happen to be out and about when you're not at work and I'm not at work, don't tell me that's him. Because see, I'm not built. And keep in mind, I don't know if she's telling me for a reason. What I mean by that is she telling me because, oh, it's on some nana and the boo-boo, haha, I still got it? Or is it like, man, you know what, man, this it's like the third time this guy done kind of flirted with me. I don't know. Because see, when I look at it like this is the school that I come from. And I believe that you come from, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. When your wife is coming to you, whether it's verbally or whether it's emotionally within the face, nobody knows your wife like you do, Big V. Nobody knows my wife like I do. I'm with her. You with your wife every single day. I'm with my wife every single day. I'm gonna wrap up. I promise. You know, it ain't about whether my wife can defend herself. I know she can. She was hell before I got with her. We're just that much better now. But when you're talking about you're in front of the world, and somebody's clowning you and your wife, listen, if I'm a comic and I joke on somebody and I see them in the parking lot, like Jamie Foxx said, I might need security. I'm either going to be ready to defend myself. I'm not going to be sitting up here trying to explain, oh man, those are jokes. Like, no, the time for that is done. Because see, that's why I say, do comics have the right? I don't know if they have the rights, but I will say be ready for whatever comes behind it. So I ain't saying don't say anything. You can talk about whatever you want. But see, just be ready for what may can't come behind that. And that's what comes behind it. And the last thing before I wrap is that, well, the Oscars wasn't the place to do that. Well, again, this is Hollywood. How many more opportunities is Will Smith and Chris Rock is going to have to be face to face, right? Again, I'm not condoning it. Now people say, oh, we could have done it backstage. Hey, that's true. That is true. That's true, true, true. I promise you that's true. But who knows? One of them might have already left, right? Like that opportunity may not have been there again. I don't condone it, but I understand. Because he had this happen at the Soul Train Awards, at the Source Awards back in the day. What people would have been saying is that, hey, well, they wouldn't do that at the Oscars. Well, damn it, we done did it at the Oscars now. And whoever thought that black folks don't know how to act when we go out somewhere, guess what? They was thinking that before the incident, and they're going to be thinking this after this incident. I'm done.
Man,
That's a lot to unpack.
It's all over the internet. I didn't want to. It wasn't sports related, so I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna touch on it. But we here now. You know what I mean? So I feel similarly towards everything that you said, bro. Because I've been saying the exact same thing you said since it popped off. I don't confirm or I don't condone or I don't deny what he did. Because boy, when I seen it, I said, oh yeah, my wife knows. She showed it to me and said, this basically, I'm paraphrasing, this type of shit you want, right? And she knows me. She knows how I pop off. She knows how I get. And she knows that. But when I break it down, this is what I'm saying. Why I feel, but let me say, I feel both sides. I want to start my
I do.
sentence off
Yep.
there.
Me too.
I
Me too,
feel
Big
both
B.
sides because let me start, bro. Dog, Will. Let me start with Will. Yeah, Will was out of line. I will say that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he
Yeah.
was out of line. And in my opinion, here's why. Right, dog. You've been to 900 million of these events. Cut it the fuck out. You've hosted these events. Cut it the fuck out. You've
Yeah.
roasted people at these events your damn self.
He
Cut
has.
it the fuck out. It's documented. It's
Yeah.
documented, Will. Cut it the fuck out. Sorry. You have. And at this point in your career and at your stature, Ricky, you've been to 900 million of these things. You know how it go. You looked on the bill. You saw who was hosting. You know how this shit go, man. And even if you didn't see that, even if he didn't see it was a top-rated comedian, they write jokes for people who aren't comedians to roast on people. You know how this shit go. You're not at home like me and you. You're not at home like Joe Blow, and you don't know how shit go. You just speculating when you're at home like me and you of how shit go. Will and Jada, you niggas know how this shit go. Stop it. And I say that to me personally, Corey, to even reference what your dad said. If you've been to a comedy show, and this is exactly what I told my wife, you know not to sit in the front rows. You know not to. And let me I'll even bring it to me. Like you said, Corey, I want to bring up something that you said that I said to my wife and that I told everybody who fucking asked me about this, dog. You got to know what you built for, right? You got to know what you built for. I'm not built to go to comedy shows, Corey, and sit in front rows with my white wife and be the butt of fucking interracial couple.
Oh, good point.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking for me right now. I'm not
Especially
that nigga.
if this was during the 90s, bro. That definitely would have been. Yeah.
That turned my ass up. That turned my ass up in the 90s. That turned my ass up today in 2022. You know what I mean? If I go to a D.L. Hewley joint or whoever, I could be in there with fucking Carlos from Wild 'N Out.
Yeah.
They gonna tear my ass up. 85 Central, them niggas. They gonna tear my ass up. You know what I mean? Just because it's the easy go-to and it's traditional.
Yep.
It's traditional, so to speak, in the comedy world to see a black man with a white woman. Oh, I'm gonna roast his ass. I'm gonna call him a sellout, all kind of shit. But I'm gonna make it funny. I know that, so I don't go. Not because I'm ashamed of my wife. I love the fact I love my wife. Everybody that know me know that I'm not ashamed that my wife is. Why the fuck would I be ashamed that I have a white wife? Don't give a fuck, dog. I don't give a fuck. If you feel indifferent, stay the fuck away from me and turn off this podcast. It's cool. You know what I mean? But if you want to voice your indifference, come see me. If you feel that way about my relationship, anybody else's relationship that's in the interracial relationship, biracial, whatever you want to call it, you can voice your opinion about theirs however you want to. But when it comes to me and mine, dog, come see me about me and mine. Or I'm going to come see you wherever you at. I'm just like that, dog. It's like you said, dog. We from the K. We don't play certain games, dog. And again, I get it. Is it a comedic right to do it? I would say I would, based off how I'm raised, I would say so. It's a joke, and people and you know, getting back to their situation. To me, the joke wasn't that bad, Corey. In my opinion, it wasn't. He wasn't going in, or he didn't make it. Let me tell you, if you watch, and I say this to say, I'm gonna tell you why I say it wasn't that bad. He wasn't talking about her condition. He wasn't zeroing in on what she had.
I'm not even 100% sure if he even knew
that's the thing.
Whether he had alopecia and she had alopecia or not.
And a lot of fucking people out here commenting have never seen the first G.I. Jane. If you know anything about G.I. Jane, who was played by the great Demi Moore, she shaved her head.
Yeah.
Let's start there. She shaved her head. She shaved her head. She had a shaved head. So he said, yo, can't wait to see G.I. Jane part number 2. I'm here for it. It was something along those lines. He wasn't zeroing in on her cut. And if you watch, and getting back to how it was,
Chris Rock could get way worse than what was said.
Let me get there. If you watch him after the slap, he said, boy, I could have, whoa. If you watch him after the slap, he said, boy, I could have. Whoa. But he kept it moving. If you watch him after the slap and you know Chris Rock and you know how Chris Rock get it in, you know that was like, that wasn't even a joke. That wasn't even a joke. That wasn't even a joke. Worse. That wasn't even a joke in Chris Rock.
As a person who followed Chris Rock, I see him hit way harder than that.
Stop it, Will. Will, stop it. It wasn't warranted that, in my opinion. Let me get back to Will's side, and this is why I say I feel both sides. I don't know what Will is dealing with right now internally. Yeah. But let me tell you something. I saw that Red Table Talk interview and that whole entanglement bullshit. Let me tell you something, dog. And I love everything you said, and I swear to God, you echoing everything I'm getting ready to say, and I'm piggybacking off a lot and building off what you said. You said people running around talking about we need to protect our women. He was protecting his women, protect Black women. Excuse me. Hello. Let me make sure this thing is on real quick. Let me make sure this thing is on, because I want everybody to fucking hear me. When has she been protecting him? When, Corey? People want to say, well, that was in the open relationship. I get that, right? Let me tell you where it got violated, though. It wasn't anybody else's business. She put it out there. She put it out there. And on top of that, and I'm just speculating, I'm guessing some NDAs were involved where August wasn't supposed to say shit. You got this fuck ass nigga running around telling everybody he fucking you.
Yeah.
Making songs.
That's the thing about it.
Making songs called the entanglement.
Yeah, because he came out. August came out and said something. Obviously, I think they felt like they, being Jada and Will, had to do like damage control. I don't think August was supposed to be saying anything. Whether it's an NDA or not, I don't know. But I know that's where their response. But they put a lot of other stuff out there.
Corey, let me tell you though, mostly of it, in my opinion, has came from her. The bulk of it, in my opinion, not just saying, we know their kids and the stuff that they do. We don't have to talk about the kids and stuff they do. We're going to keep it on Will and Jada. The bulk of the stuff that we know that's just been terrible and tasteless come directly from her fucking mouth. From her show, dog.
I agree.
Dog.
I agree with that.
For years, it had been speculation maybe that they, had an open relationship. Nobody confirmed it until her and this August Alsina bullshit came out when she had a fucking Red Table Talk about it. Everything laid out on the table, and then to protect this man. Excuse me, protect our marriage. This supposed to be some in-house shit. Yeah, we got NDAs. We got NDAs in place. It's our business. Now you got your side nigga over here talking crazy and got him looking fucking ridiculous, dog. All because of you. It starts with you. Get your nigga under control. Because let me say this: if they have an open relationship, I ain't heard Will hoes talking. I ain't heard none of Will women and his hoes talking. I ain't heard not one peep out of his entanglements. Not saying that ain't happening. I don't know. But guess what I do know? We know all about this entanglement she got with August Alsina and who else and everybody else that's involved with that. This nigga made a song called Entanglement, dog, and getting royalties experience from it. How have you been protecting your man? You haven't. And newsflash to everybody out here: us men, we need protecting too. We need protecting too. Like our relationships with our wives, that's our business, dog. We don't want a woman who's gonna run out there and tell our business. That's why. Let me tell you something, man. One of the most things I love about my wife is this: before I met her, she wasn't out here on the internet looking thotty. Now that I got her, she's not on the internet looking thotty. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't want a woman who want to sit here and tell all our goddamn business the moment that we piss her off. We don't want a woman like that.
There you go.
We don't want a woman like that. And that's exactly what the hell Will got. I'm sorry. That's what she's being. I get so sick and tired of every time Tupac's birthday roll around, she got to put out these long ass tweets. Dog, stop it. Can you stop it and respect your husband?
That's a good point.
Can you stop it and respect your husband for a second? Dog, I get it. You and Pop had a thing. He probably smashed. I don't fucking know, but I do know this. He been dead over 20 years. God bless the dead. We love Tupac. This ain't got nothing to do with how great he was, though. It's all about you, Jada, and protecting your man and your marriage. every time it come around, you got to pull out a poem he wrote you or some other shit that you have no business pulling out as a married fucking woman. You've been married for Will for I don't know how
long
long.
time.
It's been over 10 years. Stop.
And even Will came out and said that he's envious of like the swagger and whatever that Tupac had over that, and how it was so tough to compete with that. And you made a real good point about the open marriage part. You know who else got an open marriage? Monique, the comedian Monique, and her husband.
I didn't
know.
And
you know how much? And that's right. They said it on Breakfast Club. They left it right there. No details, no nothing. Could not tell you anything else about their open marriage, but she has confirmed that they have an open marriage, and you don't know who the hell was involved or who the hell wasn't.
And you know
because
why?
she was like, that's our business. Yes, it's open, but no, it ain't open for y'all to know the details.
Dog, listen, man.
She shut that down quick.
Whatever people do in their marriage and their relationships, I don't give a fuck, dog. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like if you're happy, you're happy. And I love that for whoever has that, and it can work. It can't work for me, but I love it for people that it work for. I love it for the people that it can work for. That's cool. And that's y'all business. But like she said, you will never know, because I guarantee you, her men and her hoes are abiding by said NDA, as well as his women or men or hoes or whatever they are, whatever their preference is. I don't know, because it's none of my business. They are abiding by said rules. And again, every relationship has rules, dog. My relationship got rules. Your relationship got rules. If said rules are violated, we moving different. Oh, it's about to be some furniture moving up in here, literally, because I might have to get the hell out. I don't know. But I do know, my woman protects me, dog. My woman protects me. My woman would never put that out. My woman would never expose the stuff that me and her talk about behind closed doors, or the problems that we've had or trying to overcome and things of that nature. It's nobody's business.
And I bet you it could even be after y'all done had the worst argument in the world.
Nope.
The next day, I'm still holding it down.
You wouldn't know what she might post online the same day that we have the worst argument of our whole marriage, how much that she loved me. You never know, because y'all niggas would never know. As nobody should. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel both sides, because the joke that Chris Rock made, it wasn't that bad. I'm tired of people picking on people with alopecia. Stop it. He was
I don't think he
alopecia. No.
I don't know him personally, but I don't think that was ever his intent to joke on her alopecia, assuming that he even knew it.
No.
I just don't.
And getting back to my point of how they've been to 900 million of these, dogs, let me tell you something, Will. If I'm getting ready to go to an event like this, I would do the same as if it was me getting ready to go to a comedy show. I'm going to prep my wife and myself for what may happen. Hey, baby, check this out, right? This is me talking to Jada, if I'm Will. Yo, man, you done had our shit plastered all over the damn news and all kind of shit with your damn podcast and all red table bullshit, telling who you fucking and all that. You know this nigga Chris Rock gonna have a joke for us tonight, right? Right. So, hey, man, I'm gonna go ahead and brace myself. I'm gonna go in the back and get drunk, because I'm telling you, if I go in here sober, I might fuck a nigga up because of some shit that you said. So let me go over here in the east wing of the house, smoke a bit, maybe do a line, whatever my preference may be. But I'm not going. I know what to expect. I got a pregame. Let me
that's true.
Because of your bullshit. True. Just like let me revert it back to me. And I'm going to the comedy show with my wife. Babe, I know you probably never been to things like this, but they like to crack on people who are in interracial relationships. Let's not sit up front. Get us some seats, maybe in the corner, back. You know what I mean? And even if somebody like D.L. Hewley spot us, we have to keep it cool. We have to have thick skin this go round, thicker skin than we ever had. You know what I mean? I have to prep matter of fact, let me go in the back. Let me smoke me a few, because, man, I know my temper, and let me prep myself for things that might get said so I don't fly off the handle. Let me put on, like going back to the smile. Let me put on my fake smile like Will had on before he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. Let me smile, man, because you know why he smiled? He didn't prep himself, Corey. He did not pregame and think about the things that may be said. He did. I know he didn't, because if he did, Corey, he would have sat his ass in that seat and just grinned, and he would have recognized, hey, man, that joke on that bad. I'm just glad he ain't say no August shit. Please, you say some August shit, I'm gonna beat you up. But he kept it light. I get it, man. It was like he didn't zero in on her condition. Nothing.
Yeah.
He just said, yo, man, can't wait to see G.I. Jane Part 2. That's it. If I'm Will, yo, I'm thanking him backstage. Dog.
Could have been worse.
Come here, dog. I owe you about 200 grand, my nigga, for keeping it light. Because I know the things that you could have said. My man. My man. I would have looked at him and gave him. Yeah.
That's a valid point. You bring up a real good point.
It would have been, me and him would have had an eye-to-eye kind of like bond that he knew I saluted him because he took it light on me. And he saluted me because he knew he took it light. Yo, I see you, big my nigga. One of them. Appreciate you, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it had to be. Whole thing to me was kind of overblown, but Corey, I feel both sides.
I do.
Feel both.
And I hate riding the fence like that, man. But again, that's like seeing your two best friends, and it's just like, gosh, man, Dad, do we need this? Is necessary? And it's just like, but what the hell, man? What the hell?
Corey, what the hell? I know there's a lot to unpack for my people out there listening.
It was good conversation. No 5-minute conversation when we brought it up. I knew that.
Good conversation. I'm glad I got to talk about it though with a real nigga though, because it's a lot of people that I just went up there and beat his ass, dog. See, you fighting out of the your emotions in the wrong place. You see what I'm saying? You just go up there. Ain't nobody gonna be talking about my wife like that, dog. You know where you at?
Your wife's in the industry, bro.
You know, and on top of that, you know where you at, dog? You know who up there? Come on, dog. You know where you at? If you know where you at, if you can't listen, it's a reason why they got regular people and they got rich motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You a regular niggas, you would have did some regular nigga shit and would have turned the whole venue out. And you would have been broke and been back regular. Nah, you can't do shit like that, man. Will did it because he rich. You know what I mean? Mike wasn't the smartest move, but let me tell you, I'm gonna end it on this though. I cannot wait to see that next Chris Rock stand up.
You know I can't wait.
If you think he ain't gonna empty the clip on
a dog, because first of all, salute to Chris Rock for not pressing charges, because that you know where we don't press charges, we handle it.
Can he steal on a nigga? Motherfuckers will sue.
You know they'll sue, man. And you know, like I said, I think I've seen Chris Rock destroy cats way worse than that. Yep. And you know, I hate the situation in this whole totality. You know, but
people say he wouldn't have put it on Chappelle.
Hey, look, there's an argument that maybe Will, but this is to me, this is human nature though. Like again, Chris Rock, he talked about this where it's like, yo, I'll speak for men. I think I'm gonna speak for you, but I'm gonna definitely speak for myself, right? Oh, he wouldn't have done it to such and such. Well, there's a lot of dudes that won't do stuff to such and such, right? And what I mean by that is like Chris Rock says the best. We all got that zone, right? So like, I'm 5'9", 200 pounds. If you like, I don't know, 6 foot, you know, maybe 195, you know, all things being fair and equal without getting equalizers involved, I feel like I got a fresh shake. Now, again, I'm 5'9", 200 pounds, Big V, but let's just say someone the size of Suge Knight rolls up. You know, he's about what, 6'5", 6'6", 300 easy? You think I'm gonna roll up on that dude with hands and fists? He's out of my zone.
Know where you
at? Worst, I would get an equalizer. So no, what would he have been to Chappelle? I don't know. Man, look, Will Smith ain't no punk. He did play in Ali. Like Will Smith ain't the smallest guy on the block. I think he, from a physical standpoint, he could do that to Chappelle. I don't think he would do that to Suge Knight. I think Tupac would. You know, it's been documented that Suge Knight had to tell Tupac to calm down on several occasions. So, you know, miss me with all that. Oh, he wouldn't have done it to such and such. You won't do stuff to such and such, not without an equalizer. Oh, but is that you being a real man? I didn't think so.
I love it, man. I love your take on this situation, man. I love it, man. I'm glad we had this conversation. I really do. I hope everybody out there can relate to why we're just so on the fence about it and we can't take sides, because I feel both sides.
I love them both and I feel them both. Yeah,
I feel them both, man. Man, listen, man. Thank y'all for tapping in with us on the Zone Sports Podcast every week. You know what I mean? Whether you listen on SoundCloud, watching on YouTube and Fanalism, we appreciate y'all, man. For real, man. Listen, man, Corey, you know I'm gonna be hitting you Saturday. You know what I
It's
mean?
going
I'm
down.
gonna hit you before the game. I'm gonna hit you at halftime, and depending on the situation, I may hit you after the game. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
if you're hitting me after the game, I'm assuming it's a good reason why. So
yeah,
I think if you hit me up after the game, that means I'm happy.
yeah, and you know if I don't, I know you feeling like me over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know you over here feeling like me, man.
be on the crib. I'm gonna have a couple of beers going in just in case things don't go
Absolutely,
right, and I'm about to be feeling toasty if things don't go the right way. So yeah,
yeah.
I prefer not to be 100% sober during that specific instance there.
You watching at the crib? What you doing? Have you been? You know
Yeah,
you
I'm watching it. I'm watching it
okay,
at the crib. I'm watching
okay,
it at the crib.
yeah.
So it's gonna be crazy. I'm nervous coming up though. Not that we're gonna lose. It's just for what can be and how it's gonna shake out, man. It's gonna be. It's even though it's gonna be the biggest game of the century. I'm ready for it to be over with already, and it's only Wednesday.
And bro, I promise you, man. I feel like I have to play this weekend. Like I'm so nervous, man.
I
Oh my
know
god,
we ain't
man.
even like we're just fans watching. Like we ain't even on the court. I can't imagine on either side, Duke or Carolina, the pressure that is on. And look, maybe the youth or like some, I know all of them aren't from North Carolina, so maybe to them it may not be a big deal. It's just a
Yep,
game.
yep,
A lot of people from Carolina and Duke aren't from North Carolina.
yep,
So they may or may not even feel it like we would. So that
yeah.
maybe that could be a good thing. Maybe not. We'll see.
We'll see, man. Yo, until man, everybody, man, tap in. You know what I mean. Next week, you know what I mean. SoundCloud, YouTube, everywhere. We're gonna be discussing the win or the loss. I'm
Yeah, we'll
pretty
discuss it.
sure we're gonna discuss it, man, in detail, man. You know what I mean. Until then, Corey, I'm gonna hit you up on Saturday, man. We'll talk then, my guy.
No doubt. Peace, my brother.
Peace, bro.